Welcome to this overview of Lemmana Content Services, detailing the capabilities it offers to your organization. Firstly, think about documents that arrive in your mailbox or email. You need to open them, scan them, decide what type of document they are, where they need to be saved, how long to keep them, and what data you need to extract or redact. You may even want to create a document overview, or synopsis, of the key data within a document, allowing you to make more rapid business decisions. These steps are time-consuming and costly to do manually. Lemmana Content Services is an award-winning machine learning and AI-based document capture service. It automatically separates and classifies your documents into categories, then extracts or redacts the key pieces of information you need for your business processes or compliance needs. It then refines itself over time by learning from your users' interactions. In this example, ahead of time, we have set up 5 document classification categories. These are application form, bank statement, contract, dispute, and invoice. For these categories, we have defined a set number of documents to be used for training. These classification categories are all customizable by the end user. Test allows us to use a random subset of training documents to build a temporary capture machine learning and AI model. The remaining training documents are then passed through this model to calculate an estimate of how well our model will perform. Train simply runs the training process and stores the built machine learning and AI model for use in day-to-day processing. Again, you can see a graphical report on how well this may perform. Your documents can be uploaded for processing, either manually via the web-based user interface, via email ingestion, or via the REST API. They can also be provided via document scanners, such as the Fujitsu FI range. Here we will upload, split and process a single scanned PDF that consists of 4 different documents. The document has now been processed. Because Skip Split User Review is disabled, the user needs to check the split points and classifications manually. You can see the document has been automatically split into 4 different classification categories. This was achieved using a combination of AI, machine learning, and computer vision. We have no exceptions to handle. As a result, we could have skipped this manual step had Skip User Review been enabled. We click Complete. In the background, the document is automatically split, classified, and the relevant data captured. Here we can see our split documents. We open the bank statement document. On the right of the screen, we can see we have 7 entities defined for capture for this classification category. These include account number, sort code, statement number, and opening balance. These have been populated with the correct data using machine learning and AI. It is important to note that these entities are all customizable by the system user. Clicking Complete runs validation against the captured data, ensuring it meets the predefined formats required. It passed successfully. As a result, Lemmana Content Services builds and releases a PDF, which is aligned to the export location defined in the Settings tab we will see later. In this case, it will send an email to the predefined address, along with the captured data and processed PDF document. Next, let's look at our contract document. Based on machine learning and AI, we have classified the document and captured the relevant data. This includes employer and employee names, along with ID, face, and signature locations. For this document classification, for compliance purposes, we have defined specific entities to be redacted in the exported PDF document. Here you can see where the data will be removed. We can click Complete to finalize processing of this document. Next, let's look at the dispute document. Again, using machine learning and AI, we have classified and captured relevant data pertaining to the document classification. This includes sending date, the account number in the letter text, and also the document sender. Finally, let's look at the application form. Here we have used computer vision templates to classify and capture data. This works well for forms, as typically, the data resides in similar locations for all documents of this type. Lemmana Content Services supports hundreds of user-defined computer vision templates. This allows you to classify and extract data from a wide variety of document forms. Lemmana Content Services also supports a hybrid approach. Here you can use a combination of computer vision, AI, and machine learning to achieve the results you need. Setting up and training document classes is very easy, and all achieved via the web user interface. Let's edit this existing invoice classification. Here we can define what the classification is called, and what entities are required. For invoice number, we are using a template for a defined location of text. For total due, we are using machine learning as the location of the data may vary around the document. For supplier name, we are using the predefined template text value, based on the matching template value stored when it was trained. For the purposes of this overview, let's add a new entity. We will call it contact name. We choose how to populate it. We can choose from a list of options. Next, we can then define what characters we may wish to remove from the data. For example, certain systems may want pound or dollar signs removed, whilst others may not. We can turn on redaction at the entity level. This defines whether we remove text and visually obscure the area where the data has been captured. This can include text, checkbox marks, faces, logos, and signatures. Validation is concerned with what data is allowed to be stored. This acts as a data cleaning process. Here we can define things like patterns, permitted lookup values, and confidence levels that the captured data must meet before it can be released. Let's train it by populating the entity with a valid value in the web user interface. We then add this document as a template and training document. This is done by ticking the training checkbox and saving. Periodically in the background, the training process will run automatically, adding this new document to the training set. Configuring the functionality to use in the capture process is all managed in the web user interface. Firstly, let's look in global values and maintenance. Here we can define the default language, and also define the general maintenance of the system, to ensure we delete old files that have been successfully processed. Email import and response allows definition of a mailbox for Lemmana Content Services to monitor and download new emails as they arrive. It strips out the attachments and processes them, as if they had been manually uploaded to the service. Similarly, we can also configure an email service to use for responses. This includes acknowledgement of email ingestion and successful processing of a document. Document imaging and data processes defines which services we want to run on our documents. These include image enhancements, logo matching, template matching, text recognition, handwriting, signature and face detection. Document separation and classification defines how to treat our document after upload. Lemmana Content Services can either treat the uploaded file as a single document and classify it, or it can separate a file automatically into a subset of child documents and in turn, process them. This can be achieved using traditional methods, such as separator sheet or barcode. Or, it can be done more intelligently, using computer vision, AI, and machine learning. Data validation provides the ability to skip user review if the document classification and data captured is high confidence and breaks no validation rules. PDF creation, watermark, redaction, and export defines how we want our final exported PDF document exported. We can define the author, creator, and producer names. For compliance, we can add watermark text, redact data, and add bookmarks or links. From a storage perspective, we can define image compression and set various permissions or restrictions within the released PDF. Finally, release document and data location defines where the document and the data captured is stored upon process completion. This includes logical storage in a file system, delivery via email, stored online in box.com, exported via CMS to a repository, or stored securely in Document Logistics Document Manager. Alongside exporting single documents to repositories or sending via email, we can also merge documents so they now contain a table of contents, along with bookmarks to jump directly to the captured data within the PDF. Users can run reports to extract the data they need into an Excel spreadsheet for further filtering and reporting. We hope you have found this overview of benefit. Please get in touch at www.lemmana.com for more information.